Thanks for tuning in to more thoroughbred horse racing coverage on Prime Sports Network. This is the PlaybookSports.com Horse Report. Triple Crown race number 3 coming up tomorrow, the Belmont Stakes. Jon Hardoon, Mr. Jon Sheets is here with us as usual. Jon, good to talk to you again.
Good afternoon, Greg. How are you?
Doing good. So this is the third of 3. No Triple Crown winner again this year, but hey, I think we've been spoiled over the last 5 or 6 years. We've had a run of a couple of
two of them. I mean, and between the two of them, there was a 35-year wait. So whatever it was.
Yes. The big news that came out since the last time we spoke was official, and that is that Medina Spirit is no longer officially the Kentucky Derby winner. Is that the case?
Well, they didn't disqualify him yet, but he's going to be disqualified. It's probably only a matter of going through the logistic part of it. But the split sample came back positive. So Mr. Baffert has been banned from Kentucky racing for 2 years. There'll be no Baffert Triple Crown horses for the next 2 years in Kentucky. Wow. And most of the tracks are keeping with the suspension, except for Monmouth Park. Monmouth Park welcomes Bob Baffert with open hands for the house. They always got to be different. I'm curious to see how California is going to handle it. I'm sure they'll give him some time, if not most of the 2 years. Let's see what happens.
And Monmouth has what? What's their biggest race of the year?
The Haskell.
Okay. That's coming up in what, a couple of months, right? Next month or two?
Yeah, it runs during Saratoga and Del Mar. That's their one big week they get.
Okay. Well, and because we don't really do their track very much, but that'll be a week that we do their track. So
right, that race we'll be doing for sure.
All right, so we're recording this show right now at a little after 1 o'clock on Friday. So it's a good day before the big day. That's usually the way it is for the Triple Crown races. I did want to just quickly talk about one race that's going on today, because I was looking at race number 7, the True North, and I was going through and I'm like, well, this Firenze Fire, I mean, okay, the odds are right. He's the favorite of the race, but he looks like he's so much far and away better than any other horse in this field. I'm surprised that he's not like 4 to 5. And I looked at your picks and realized that, yeah, okay, you agree with me. You like Firenze Fire too. So, hey, I'd be shocked if this horse was 2 to 1. I mean, wouldn't that be a bonus? I mean, he looks clearly like the favorite, doesn't he?
The only bugaboo would be if the track came up sloppy. If they're expecting rain, so don't bet this race in advance, because if the rain comes, that's the only thing I could get the horse beat today. Kelly Breen scratched the horse last year one day when the track came up wet as well, so he's not anxious to run him on a wet track, but if all things equal and the track being fast, he's going to be very tough to beat.
Yeah, because right here, he's 1 out of 5 on an off track, so that's not very good.
There you go. So, you answered your own question.
All right. Anything else, by the way, that you like today before we move on to Saturday's 2 races that we're going to talk about?
I like a horse in the last race as long as the race remains on the turf, and it's the number 1 horse, QF75. This horse is listed at 8 to 1 on the morning line. 2 career starts. He's had trouble in both of them. He gets a rider switch today to Joel Rosario. He's listed at 8 to 1 on the morning line. He has the advantage of breaking from the inside, going 1.25 miles, and I think number 1, QF75, will be tough in this spot. But again, that selection is for turf only.
All right, so an 8 to 1. I like to hear that. Okay, the race that we are going to talk about before we talk about the Belmont Stakes, and we were deciding between 2 races because there are 2 really good races with named horses, really good horses before the Belmont. The one we're not going to do is going to be the Metropolitan. So we decided, okay, that's going to go. But the one we are going to talk about is going to be the Ogden Phipps Stakes. This is a grade 1, 1 1/16 for fillies and mares. This is the Swiss Skydiver race. And going through the field here, Swiss Skydiver. Matter of fact, it's interesting. I was looking at both Swiss Skydiver.
Let me stop you now. Swiss Skydiver will be a late scratch. She came up sick this morning.
Ooh.
And Valencia, I heard, is also coming out. So now it's down to a 5-horse field. I just got a text as we're speaking.
Wow. Okay. Well, that maybe should Maybe we should do race 9 then. So anyway,
I still have an opinion in
yes,
this
we
race.
do. Yes, and that is the fact that the one horse that I liked as well when I saw your picks because of the odds was the 7, Bonnie South, the 10-1 shot. Rosario on board. Cox is the trainer. The odds, I mean, if you look at the sheets, okay, yeah, the horse hasn't reached the 6s or the 5s like some of the favorites, but it's like the next step where they've got 8s and 9s, and again, you got the rider change to Rosario coming off a win in his last race. Matter of fact, lost to Swiss Skydiver at the Alabama Stakes. So this was a really good, solid bargain horse. I'm just afraid of how the odds are going to drop now.
Well, the odds are going to be in half. Figure he'll be 5, so she'll be 5-1, but she's still worth 5-1. The 3 will be odds on here. Probably be 3-5 or 4-5, and the 5 will be the clear second choice. And then you'll have our horse, Bonnie South. And she's just getting good. You know, horses don't just start running 3s, they work their way down to running 5s and those kind of numbers. And that's the case with her sheet. She's just getting better. You know, she's a 4-year-old. She has a license to improve. And I think the improvement is coming tomorrow, and you're going to see it.
I was kind of surprised just taking a look. Let's see, Valiance won a race on a sloppy track 3 races ago.
But she scratched too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I was kind of surprised maybe that the horse scratched today.
Up with fevers. They're both,
oh, yeah. Okay, that's true. All right.
They get sick.
So the Metropolitan was another good race, and I was looking at your picks, and the one horse that we both like, same thing as far as a good bargain, was the 5 I wanted to start with. By my standards, a 10-1 shot. Coming off a nice win, which was really important his last time out, which was an 8, something he really needed to see this season.
Yeah, but the problem is Nick's Go has a couple of 2s and a 3. And the last race was in Dubai in February, and he's got enough time from that race. And if he comes back and runs anywhere near the 2, he's going to be long gone, and he's going to win.
Yeah, this is one of those races where you just got to hope that travel does something to Nick's Go, because Nick's Go is clearly the best horse in the field.
Well, I don't think he's getting beat. The way that I would attack the race is throwing out the clear second choice in the race, Mischievous Alex. This horse is coming off of a huge figure last time out. He figures to regress off of that race, and that's the only way I could play the race, is putting some longer price horses underneath Nick's Go and turning a 1-5 shot into maybe a 3-1 or 4-1. I would use the 6-horse Nick's Go in there over the 2 and 5. Over Dr. Post and by my standards. That's the way I would play that race.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to. That's why I threw in by my standards for that exact reason. I'm going to hope that you can get, maybe you get $15 on an exacta with Nick's Go if by my standards finishes in second. That's good enough for me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Let's take.
All right, let's go with the Belmont Stakes. Before we do this, just want to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel. This is the best way for everybody to know exactly when these shows are available. So you subscribe, you go to YouTube, boom, right there. You know that the show is going to appear because it's one of your subscribed shows. And also, of course, if you like any of the videos, please go ahead and press the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, especially for John, forget about me. Go ahead, unless you have something negative to say about me, which happens, go ahead and ask John and he'll answer your question. All right. Let's go with the Belmont here, and we'll start at the top. Bourbonic, the horse that screwed me out of a good payday at the Wood Memorial, came from nowhere to win that race, but bounced back to a 15 in the Kentucky Derby. So is there any reason to think that Bourbonic at 15-1 in a field that's it's open for a potential third, you know, a surprising third, maybe a second, but does this horse have a chance to get in the money?
No, he has yet to run a single digit. There are horses in here that are twice as fast as this horse has run. He has 0 chance.
All right, the 2 is clearly, we agree, the horse to beat, not just because of the odds, and we talk about this on every race. We just don't always go with the odds, but Essential Quality, the sheet line is a thing of beauty. It's just about gotten better every time, and not just those big 15-5. It's 15, 12, 8, 6, 5. It's a perfect sheet line.
The little increments are right. You know, just this horse, like you said, has a thing of beauty. I mean, the horse has 6 career starts, has never gone backwards. Every race is better than the previous one. You know, people are going to try to beat this horse tomorrow. Good luck. They're
Yeah.
not. This horse is going to win the Belmont Stakes. He's bred to handle the distance. Cox is terrific. The horse has never been on Lasix, so there's not a problem with him coming off of Lasix. Everything is all systems go. If the track is sloppy, he can handle a wet track as well.
That's
You
right.
know, unless something unforeseen happens in the race, this horse, I think, is going to be extremely tough to beat. And what makes it a decent betting race is not so much that he's going to win, but I don't think you want to put Rumbauer on a ticket. The horse that just won the
Oh,
previous.
yeah.
He's coming back on a 2-week layoff. He ran a 7-point new top last time out. He's got bounce written all over him. I mean, the first thing you do is you take Rumbauer and you deposit him in a, you know,
Yeah.
you don't want any tickets.
I was happy to see Rumbauer at 3-1. I was like, yeah. I hope that stays the same, but because Hot Rod Charlie, who is next up at the odds at 7-2, is definitely a good play as far as an exacta. A good sheet line this season, 11-9-7. You know, nothing wrong with finishing third in the Kentucky Derby. Finished second to Essential Quality in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race. This would be. I hope I can get a pretty decent payout with the exacta of 2-4.
Well, this is the other horse. I mean, you know, he's a little slower than the 2, but he also has a nice line. The 2's a better horse, I think. But again, this would be one of my 2 exacta horses that I'd be using. And I like this horse in here to run well. And O'Neill did the right thing. He passed the Preakness after running third in the Derby. What was the point to run in the Preakness? He listened. He did the right thing. He did the right thing by the horse, more important. And he's live to run well tomorrow. And he's getting Flavian Pratt.
Yes.
Pratt rode Power in the Preakness.
That's it.
He's riding Hot Rod Charlie in the Belmont. He knows.
You know what's funny too is that when you look at the horses sometimes, let's just take Hot Rod Charlie for instance, and you look at his early career, and you see that in his first 3 races doesn't do anything. The sheet numbers are weak.
No one would have expected this to be a Derby horse.
No. And then all of a sudden, okay, breaks his maiden. All right, that's nice. And then goes to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile race and nearly wins it. And that just changed everything.
Yeah, that's it. They
Amazing.
found a horse. It really is.
Yep.
But horses get better. Listen, he had excuses. His first race, they thought he something of him because the dollar sign by you see that by that number. He didn't run a good number, but he was bet heavily at the windows. They knew this horse had some potential. Then the next 2 races will both run on grass. You can throw those out, and then he became a horse. He won at Santa Anita going long first time. Like you said, they shipped him to Bluegrass. He ran a super number in defeat, and this year, nothing wrong.
No.
He's a nice horse.
Yep. Sometimes, hey, it's just like a team or
they pick the right time.
Yep.
It's a matter. That's what horses are. That's what all gambling is about. It's a matter of getting the guy or the team on the right day.
All right, the long shots. I just want to ask you quickly between the 5 and the 8. Do either of those horses have a shot to get in the money?
Well, the 5 has no shot, and the 8 has no shot.
All
no,
right.
neither.
Now let's go with the other 2 horses, the other 2 contenders. Now, Known Agenda, who came off the Florida Derby win as one of the top contenders in the Kentucky Derby, finished 9th in that race. And the sheet line was going really well this year. 15, 9, 7 in the Derby. Then backwards to the 13, got the 1 post position. So I got to ask you, when you have a 13 in the sheets, though, aren't you supposed to take that into account that, well, we have to give him an excuse because he's starting on the pole?
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm certainly using this. So first of all, he had big trouble. You see the big T there. He figured to bounce off the 7, and he had the impossible 1 post.
Okay.
You could absolutely draw a line through that race. You know, this horse is fine. He's similar to Hot Rod Charlie. He's going to run a 7 or better. And those are the 2 horses you're using under Essential Quality. You're putting him over Hot Rod Charlie and over Known Agenda. That's the way I would play the race.
And so let me, because this is something I don't really ask you too much about regarding the sheets, is that, okay, so if it's given a 13 for running for getting stuck inside.
Let me make it simple for you. You can't quantify trouble, so trouble is not in the number.
Okay.
You have to use your own personal, judgment on how much trouble you think he had. But it's not even so much the trouble. It's the fact that he ran the 7 and he didn't figure to run so well last time out, combined with having the rail and everything else.
Sure.
When a horse runs a bad race, you want to look for an excuse to use him. And I have excuses, legitimate excuses. They're not bad excuses.
All right. All right. And then finally, the 7, Rocket World. Rosario is on board again. And we talked about Rispoli getting knocked off for Rosario in the Kentucky Derby. Well, the horse finishes 17th, but Rosario's back on board anyway. So, yeah, I mean, why would we want to take this horse at 5-1 when we could take Known Agenda at 6-1?
Exactly. Exactly. The thing I could tell you about this horse is he's reverse buried. He looks better on paper than he is on the sheets. His number, the race he ran 2 starts back was a 9.
Yes.
It wasn't as good as the 6 Hidden Agenda or Hot Rod Charlie, and certainly not as good as Essential Quality. The reason this horse is going to get bet is because everyone saw what we saw. The horse was totally eliminated last time out at the start. The horse outside him banged him and knocked him completely off stride. So there you could draw a line through that race as well. But here's the difference. Why am I going to make an excuse for a shorter priced horse when I can make an excuse, like you said, for Known Agenda, who's a longer price?
All right. So, again, the 6 and the 4, those are the 2 horses that you want to put together with the favorite Essential Quality, the number 2.
I'll put the 2 on top of the 4 and 6. I don't think the 2 is getting beat.
All right, John. I appreciate it as always. It's going to hopefully not rain as badly as it appears it's going to.
Well, tomorrow certainly won't be rain. Today there's a chance.
All right, John. We'll talk to you again next week. Thanks.
Thank you so much, my friend. Stay safe and be well, and we'll talk soon.